going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 48. Week 2 is in the books. LAFC stays dominant. The youngsters of Major League Soccer are taking over, and they're being dominant against these retirement league players. Bottom teams of last year continue to be in a slump, and we're going to talk about it today. We're going to check them out, discuss it all on the episode today. So tune in. Bang, bang. We out here, baby.
Bang, bang, Niner gang.
Dude, yeah, crazy stuff going on in the MLS right now with so many different things, right? Big time teams are making big time plays, but also these young guns, these up and coming players, man, they're running rampant, dude. I saw some podcast here today, and they were talking about how basically a high school team beat Seattle this weekend because of how young these kids are, which is kind of wild. That was pretty insane.
Utah High School?
Yeah, pretty much, man.
Crazy.
How you doing, man? How you feeling? It's Monday. We ready. We out here. We're starting the week off, dude. How we feeling?
Do you really want to know how I'm feeling today? Or are you just asking?
I always ask.
Conversation.
I always ask, dude.
Well, let me tell you this. If you haven't already been on Kickbase, maybe you should try it, but don't make the same mistake I did, which was apparently being over budget.
Yeah.
Because in both my leagues I was over budget and I lost. I would have won one of the matchups. I would have lost the other one by 20 points. But yeah, crazy. That's how my weekend's going. Fantasy back at it again, ruining my weekend. But a specific player made it a lot better. So we'll get into that today.
Yeah, we'll get into it. But hey, man, you gotta make sure you're under budget, brother. You gotta make sure you're aligned here. Okay, you don't have unlimited funds. Make sure you're aligned, dude.
I lost by 20 points, and I didn't make Messi my captain, just so you guys know. I forgot to as well. So
didn't make Messi your captain, dude. That's write that one down, dude. That's insane.
Well, nobody was my captain, if that makes it better.
Oh, you just forgot about it. Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I feel you, man. That's crazy. We will get into that. I mean, fantasy soccer is honestly pretty fun. I think the app's been super sweet. So yeah, we'll talk about that a little bit later. But before we get into all of it, performances, the games, the picks, everything, the meat of the conversation, we got to take a look at the leaderboard. I don't think too much changed, but it was one of those weeks where some of the teams, some of the games, kind of went different ways that everybody else was thinking, different ways than I was thinking, different ways that you were thinking. But from my understanding, not much has changed.
Why do I second guess myself so much, bro? I mean, I still would have been behind you, but I would have been a little bit closer. But what is this? A 3-point difference? So not bad.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, honestly, like you said, dude, you pick with your heart, and that's understandable. That's respectable, right? This is one of those things where, if there was money involved, if we were on a gambling website, we would have to be legitimately thinking with numbers and tactics.
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't? You would just send it?
Yeah.
15 leg parlay, just sending it with your heart, dude? That's what you would do?
Yeah, I would.
You're too down, dude. You're too down, Fern.
If it's a 15-leg parlay, I'm putting like $10 to make 1,000, so.
Yeah, that's true. You're not putting very much in that one. Plus, it's never going to hit anyways, so, But no, we're not too much has changed. But again, for those of you very new to this, essentially we're picking the winner of every single game that's coming up. We share them on our social medias, and then we keep track of all of those points, all of those wins that we get right throughout the entire season. And then at the very, very end, the loser, the one that did not win, has to buy the winner a jersey of their choice, MLS specific.
Like this one? Look at that. Champions. I'm a winner. You like my photo in this, though? You like my chilena?
Yeah, dude, you're looking good, man. It's like crazy.
Yeah,
it's really good.
It took me like
I've never seen those cleats. Are those real cleats?
You want to know? I had my slippers on and I had AI put cleats on me, so it's actually these.
That's crazy. I saw those. I was like, what are those? Like bike, like cycling shoes? Jeez.
Oh, they were AI. Me jumping in the air and kicking the ball is not AI though. That's real.
Just really? So I don't know how the heck you got that. That's pretty wild.
It took me like 20 tries with my wife outside just trying to get it. So
nice.
If I take the unedited picture, I look like Cristiano hitting the bicycle too in the Champions League. I don't know if you've seen that photo. Have you seen that photo?
Maybe. I feel like I probably have. It's in my email somewhere, but that's pretty crazy, bro. You gonna find it real quick?
Well, I'm talking about Ronaldo's bicycle kick, like the picture of when he
Yeah,
hit
like
it.
the Champions League bicycle, like everyone sees it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
where he was
one.
all that high up in the air. Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
look like in the picture. But
Damn, dude. That's crazy, brother. Well, good for you. Way to be dedicated. I love it.
mhm.
Okay, solid. Super dope. We'll get into it right here. We're doing it a little different, remember? We're doing the correct overview. Sorry, we didn't sync that one. I'm
Oh,
gonna do
sorry.
mine. The correct overview, baby.
I'm usually premature. I apologize, guys.
Dope stuff, man. Okay, let's get into this. We have so many games that we got to get through here, so let's take a quick peek. I'm going to kick us off. One of the first games that was on was Chicago against Montreal. Pretty insane game, to be honest. Unfortunate red card for Chicago at the end, for Chicago. But at the end of the day, Montreal just couldn't get it done and could not capitalize on that short-staffed fire team, losing this game, which is honestly super sad, bro. Like at the end of the day, it's so sad to see that Montreal had such a crappy season last season and they're just continuing that rut, bro. Like they just can't get it done. 3-0 against Chicago Fire. 1 goal in the first and 2 in the second. They're basically back to back too. It's kind of insane. But yeah, man, I mean, pretty sad. I don't think anybody expected Montreal to win this game, but it is what it is. Chicago wins the win. I believe Bamba and Kuipers were on the
Yes.
score sheet here, so pretty cool for them. Yeah, any comments from you on this one, dude? I think this one was pretty, like I said, everybody expected Chicago to win.
Yeah, I mean, ever since Nancy left for who does he play for? Columbus now or
Uh,
Nashville?
are you
I
talking?
think it's
Who are you talking?
Columbus. The coach. Sorry, Wilfred Nancy. He plays. He's coaching the Columbus Crew now, right?
Oh, he is.
Yes. Or he was
He
actually. He left
left Columbus
for
to go to
for
Celtic.
Celtic and then got fired 2 games
Yes,
later,
correct.
unfortunately. But that was in 22 was the last year that Montreal has had a winning season.
Really?
So it's not looking good for them, at least from what I can tell. Yeah. Yeah. Last time they had a winning season. So yeah, it sucks
Dang.
for them. Honestly, Chicago is a really good team. They were really good last year. They're going to keep it going this year. Montreal, I don't know what they need to do. They just added
Yeah.
Brian Vera, who played for RSL. I
Mm-hmm.
feel like he was a very good player. He wanted to leave RSL, and this is what he got sent into. So good for him.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what Montreal has to do. They've had so many coaches. I feel like it's not even a coaching problem at this point. I like they just
It's a
need
front
to,
office problem. It's probably a front office problem. You know what I mean?
yeah, and just getting those players to just, I don't know, have confidence again.
Yeah.
Because we talked about this last year with not Montreal Galaxy. Like if you don't have that confidence, it's really hard to win these games because
Yeah.
a lot of the best players in the world teams, they have that confidence that, they're going into whatever team you're playing against, doesn't matter who they are, you're going to win. And
Yeah.
when you're a team like Montreal, you don't really have that. So,
Yeah. They do have a pretty young team, which
mhm.
I know, understandable too. But the crazy part too is a lot of their young guys are in the back line, like they're playing defense. And I feel like that's a very tough position to be in when you're younger. So you kind of have to play older players in the back, and
Mhm.
then you kind of play with the younger players up front because it's a little bit easier if they make mistakes.
Mhm.
So that's a bit of a tough shoe in for Montreal. But we're hoping for them at the end of the day, though. Like, yeah, it needs to be a bit of more of a revamp at this point. So we'll see what happens with them, man. Next up, we did have New York Red Bulls and New England Revolution. Quick and easy win, I guess, for New York Red Bulls with a goal in the second half. The youngins, man, the young guns for New York keep on rolling, my guy. Your crack player week 1, Julian Hall gets a goal again, which is pretty insane. To think about. Did you end up seeing this game? Did you end up seeing that goal?
No, I did not.
Another
But
another banger. Another
yeah,
banger.
another banger.
Another tap in. Another tap in,
Hey,
dude.
hey, a goal's a goal. But it
Exactly,
looks like it
dude.
looks like it's another New England team that can't stop the run. So nothing new.
Whoa, this guy taking shots, dude. Yeah, I mean, hats off to Red Bull, dude. They're just, I don't know, man. Like we were kind of mentioning at the beginning, right? Like a lot of these young players are just doing so well. And yeah, Hall is 17 years old, my guy. And he's got 3 goals already this season, which is absolutely insane. So hats off to him, dude. Hats off to this team. They're doing it right.
2 game
And
winners.
getting it done. Yeah, against New England. New England, they're okay, to be honest. Like they have a pretty good team, but I just don't think like it's their year this year or even the next.
Yeah, I know. After the past final, I don't think they did pretty well. I don't think the Patriots will be back into a Super Bowl for a while.
Give them 5
Oh,
years. Give them 5 years, brother. Give them five years.
my bad, bro. I thought we were talking about the Patriots. I forgot the
You're
Revolution played.
crazy, dude. You're crazy. Okay, sweet. So next one, we did have the Colorado Rapids against the
No,
Portland Timbers. Pretty wild. I don't think either of us got this one right. Like this one was a tough
you
call. I
already
think
know,
everybody
dude.
saw Portland.
You
You know
already
what I
know.
mean?
This is another one of the times I let my heart talk me out of something because I had Colorado. I picked Colorado in the picks, but obviously before I submitted and I posted everything, I switched over to the Portland Timbers because obviously Colorado and RSL have a rivalry. So I was like, you
Right.
know what? Fuck Colorado. I'm picking the Portland Timbers, and
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
Yeah.
you see how that turned out. So
24 shots, which is insane, as opposed to the 12 for Portland. So yeah, pretty nuts, dude. I mean, hats off to Colorado for getting the win on this one, getting those 3 points. Portland, as good as they looked last week, they just couldn't beat these guys up in the Rockies. So from what I can see too, Zach Steffen had 3 saves. So it looks like he's, feeling it a little bit, getting back in the groove, which is great. I know he had that injury last year, which kind of, sidelined him for a little bit, and I probably kind of just made him stumble from here and there. But yeah, Colorado got that win, and I like seeing Colorado win too because then when they do come to Salt Lake, that game's even bigger.
yeah, and I know Stefan was kind of finally breaking into the U.S. men's national team, and then he got injured. So I mean, this is a big year for him, going into the World Cup because I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty sure you think the same thing, but Freese is pretty much the lock for the number one goalie right
Yeah,
now, at
probably.
least the way it stands. So Stefan definitely needs to perform. But I mean, whenever you're having a goalkeeper battle for 2 starters that are really good, that's always a good thing for a team and a national team. So hopefully Stefan keeps it up. But he's definitely been one of the best keepers in the league recently. So
Yeah, for sure.
hopefully he does bad against RSL though.
I know we always want that for sure. Next up, we did have Minnesota United against FC Cincinnati, dude. Minnesota, dude. They froze Cincy after a free kick bounce off of the post that some people argued like was an offsides. Just kind of considering where Yaboa was,
Yeah,
when the
boy.
yeah, your boy was during the free kick. But I look back at it, I saw it. It's not an offsides. I think where people might have been confused there is like because it hit the post, it
Yeah,
doesn't reset the offsides. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
from the contact of the free kick. So
Mhm.
because he was onside when the free kick was taken, he wasn't off. So this one was one that I got wrong too. So Minnesota, hats off to them for getting this win.
I picked
I
Minnesota
picked
actually.
Cincinnati. You did pick Minnesota?
Yeah.
I picked Cincy, so I didn't even think it was gonna
I
happen,
mean,
but
no, I picked Cincinnati, obviously. Obviously, I didn't watch this game, but you mentioned it, so I went to go look at it. I'm just going to show this still frame real quick, just to show everybody that it's not offsides because the ball's clearly already off his feet, and he's definitely onside. So,
yeah, and he was probably even more onside
yeah, he was on
before
more before. Yeah,
because
for
that
sure.
ball's like already in the air.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so there was a couple things online around that, but clearly it was a Minnesota win. Um,
Minnesota.
Minnesota, but it was pretty. It's fairly even. 16 shots, 13 shots, so it's pretty even. Cincinnati had more possession, but at the end of the day, it's whoever gets the goal, man. So it is what it is.
How much of an effect do you think Evander being gone from this team had to do with this loss?
I mean, he's a lot in this
Hmm.
team. You know what I mean? He's a big piece. I think he controls that midfield. I think he feeds. Denki. I feel like he feeds. Anybody that's
Yeah.
that's up top, but he also can rip it from wherever he's at. Right. So I think he's a big part of this team. The fact that he was out like that obviously does suck. So I think he's a big influence. You never want to have just that one player that kind of dictates whether you win or lose. But in a situation like this, it's with multiple teams, right? Like multiple
Yeah.
teams have that. So it's sad to see, but you wish they could get the win, but they didn't.
I think obviously it has a lot to do with it, and I don't think that they just rely on Evander,
Mhm.
but last year he was their main guy, everything going on. So coming into the second game, him missing definitely made them lose, but I don't think they'll drop too much because of it. I just feel like they have to get used to not having him there in the middle and kind of figure out a bit of a different game plan. So it might take him a couple games. I don't
Yeah.
know when Evander's coming back. Do you know by chance?
I don't actually. That's a
I'll
good
look it up.
question, to be honest. I would almost Google that really quick just to kind of see. Evander
Looks.
CFC. Where did he go? Where is he? Evander Cincinnati start exit season opener with. Oh yeah, he got injured. That's right.
Is not expected to be out long, is what this says.
Okay.
It doesn't say a time frame, but it says he won't. Luckily, it wasn't anything long term. So
Yeah, I do remember. I think I remember texting you that because it was
like
non-contact.
2 minutes in,
Yeah.
2 minutes into the game.
Yeah, I looked. I mean, it was just one of those things where you just hope it's nothing like a, hamstring issue, a Achilles issue, an ACL issue. Like you just never really know. So hopefully, it's not serious. But from what I can see too, it's not like they're really, telling us what it is. It is what it is for
Yeah.
that team. Okay, cool. Next up for my correct game of the week, RSL versus Seattle. My goodness. The youngsters are running rampant. Can somebody please get this high school team off my field? Goodness gracious. This was pretty insane, dude. I went to this game. I saw it in person. I got rained on basically the entire game, by the way. It was
Was it
a
raining
rainy
that
day.
day?
Yeah.
I don't
At
think
least it was
raining out
down here. It
Yeah.
was down. Yeah, it was down in Sandy. But yeah, basically rained almost the entire game. But dude, people keep saying this, like the RSL curse for Seattle is real and it's alive and it's going to continue because, like I said, the young guns are shining right now. Seattle, get this, my friend, has not beaten Real Salt Lake in Utah since 20 of the MLS regular season. Isn't that wild, dude? I couldn't believe it when I heard that stat. Somebody said it, I saw it, and I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Wild.
I did see that on TikTok that they hadn't lost in a while. I didn't realize it was since 2012, but I did see that it had been a while. And I was just going to say that the last time I saw a high school team on RSL's field was in 2014. So it's been a while.
Dude.
What? I mean, it's true. That's the last time I saw a high school team on there. And luckily, the high school team won this time. So shout
Oh
out
my
to
gosh.
RSL.
You're really good at that, aren't you? You're
Really
real
good at what?
funny. You're real funny, my guy.
I try to
You're a
be.
comedian.
No, Diego Luna's out still.
Dude.
I don't know how long he's going to be out for. Do you know by chance?
Yeah, they said he'll probably be back by week 5 or 6.
Okay.
So he's out
not
for like
too
4
bad.
weeks. Yeah.
Not too bad. Honestly, it's a blessing and a curse, sort of, because as we said, RSL's doing very well with this young team that they got going on. Hopefully, this is a sign of what's to come. First game against Vancouver, I said last week, I believe they should have at least got a tie. Obviously, that offsides goal that was called off against Vancouver, they held Vancouver to 1 goal, right? It was 1-0, not 2-0.
Yep, 1-0. Yep,
Yeah.
1-0.
So obviously they played well against Vancouver because they beat Toronto 3-0, and then they come in and they beat a very strong Seattle Sounders team with a bit of luck, a bit of, offsides, a bit of stuff going their way, which you always need whenever you're winning.
Yeah.
You can't just win based off straight skill. A lot of the time you need some luck going your way. So I'm kind of excited for this season. RSL has a very young team, and I think I had them as my dark horse kind of, or for the Western Conference. So
nice.
We'll see.
Yeah,
but
no, they're
as
good.
I was saying, with the Luna injury, it's a blessing because a lot of these youngsters get the opportunity to play that they wouldn't have with him being gone. So.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Luna being gone, who would have thought? Who would have thought they would have get this win? Yes, Brawl had 6 saves in this game, which amazing saves, to be honest with you. I remember seeing so many of these, and I just thought, dude, I don't know how he saved these, right? So he definitely kept them in the game. I wouldn't necessarily say the back line was amazing this game, but they played decently enough to get the win. But again, these young guns, man, Sanabria, Moisa, Gozo, Ezerkani, Booth, like they looked good, my guy. I don't know if you can pull this up, but Luka Moisa on RSL, you got to look at his picture on FontMob because this kid is young. Yes,
it was last week.
Looks like he's 12, brother.
Remember we were looking at it last week, and I was like, dude, look at his picture. This is literally a kid on the team. Like, dude, what's going on here?
insane, my guy. Like, I mean, look, I'm not trying to roast this guy. He's an amazing player. He played so well this game. But this picture, bro, looks like an elementary school picture, my guy.
Bro, that's your
This is
picture for
wild.
middle school, dude.
Yeah, this is insane. So, but the thing is, he played so well. I
Mhm.
love the way that he played this game. Hezzer Connie did super well as well. He possesses the ball super very well and has a very good touch. Zach Booth, the guy, give him 2 more years, and he's gonna be one of those guys where when he makes a run, he will beat anybody because he's so quick. His acceleration is ridiculous, and what hats off to him too. I know he only got a 6.5 player rating on FUMA, but like he went for it. Like there was a couple of chances where he really didn't have any options to kind of pass the ball off, and he just gunned it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, he got stopped here and there, but like bravo, dude. Like you tried. You tried to go in and get on goal.
Yeah.
So hats off to you. And again, it was against a very good Seattle team. I do think, Seattle brought in a couple subs later in the game. And that's when they kind of scored that one goal. It almost felt like Seattle wasn't taking this team very serious at the beginning. And then once those subs came on, it really was like, okay, you guys got to hold the line at this point, right? So hats off to RSL. Hats off to these young teams for this young team for, hanging in there, doing what they got to do, getting it done, getting the 3 points at home opener,
Mhm.
makes all the fans excited for the rest of the season, like us and everybody else here in the state. So we're hoping for it, man. When Luna gets back, let's get it done.
I just hope because Zach Booth is currently just on loan, so I'm hoping that they keep him. Obviously, they're only
Yeah,
going to keep him if he's doing well, so I hope he does well, so he stays
yeah,
and RSL keeps this young team going because RSL is never going to buy a big player. At least
yeah,
that's the
yep.
way it looks and
They're gonna bring
what I
people up
believe.
for sure.
Yeah, so they need a young team that will compete. And I also shows how much of a fake fan I am because I heard Cabral's post game interview and I thought he was like American or something. This dude's Brazilian, and I heard him talking, and I was like, "What's going on here?" Yeah.
That's
Shout out to
hilarious.
Cabral though; he was insane this
Yeah,
game. I watched the highlights. I forgot what I was doing on Saturday, but I couldn't watch the game. But I watched the highlights, and it was crazy how many saves he had. There was one where
yeah,
he like saved it and ran it straight into the post right after. So
yeah, dude, it was insane. Yeah, he played very well. So hats off to that team, man. What a game. So I'm excited for that.
Gozo, stop getting yellow cards. You're ruining my fantasy team.
Love that, dude. Okay, cool. Next up, we had San Jose against Atlanta. Not so hot Atlanta. San Jose stays hot with a win against Atlanta here. What one of the worst teams last year, getting a 2-0 win against what used to be a juggernaut in the MLS and has just recently gone into this slump that just they cannot get out of. So I don't know what else to say. San Jose, way to go, way to get the win in California, which is great. But Atlanta, I don't think they've scored a goal this year, so
Uh-uh.
they need some help. I
2-0
don't know.
both games.
Yep. So I don't know what else to say, dude. It is what it
I
is.
mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll blame it on the coach right now. There's a
Sure.
change going in. They're trying to figure out a new system. Maybe it'll take them a little bit of time to get going back to their winning ways. So I think I'll blame it on that for now. But it's not looking good for Atlanta.
No.
You know what we talked about. They spent too much time in a specific city last year, so maybe
Exactly.
it's happening again. But yeah, I hope for the sake of the league, Atlanta turn it around because they have a great stadium, great fan
Yeah.
base. So we want to see a team like that winning. But yeah, shout out to San Jose Earthquake. Shout out to Werner coming in, getting an assist, like you said.
Mm.
And hopefully we'll see more of that from him, more goals. So
Yeah, came in late, didn't start the game, but ended up coming in, getting the assist, which is awesome. Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see what San Jose ends up doing. Excited to see what happens when he plays a full game and how much he can kind of help this team. Should be good. Next up, we do have Dallas against Nashville. Pretty boring 0-0 game. We did have one red card in the 84th for Nashville. But at the end of the day, I mean, 9 shots for Dallas, 7 for Nashville. I wouldn't necessarily say it was super exciting because even if you look at like the events, the first half was just nothing was going on. So I feel bad for the fans. Give them their money back. You know what I mean? Because ain't nothing happened there. But um, Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
sad to see, bro. I don't know.
yeah, I was gonna ask you the question because going into last week, you pointed this game out as FC
Yeah,
Dallas won 3-2. They got to play Nashville. This is like to prove whether or not their win was, a big win and they're playing better. Do you think
yeah.
a 0-0 draw against Nashville kind of shows that maybe they're on the up, or do you think Nashville just was tired from playing in the midweek against the other
Yeah, no.
team?
It's definitely not the latter. They're definitely not going to be tired from what they did in the CONCACAF Champions Cup because they didn't even play their
Hmm.
first team, right? So they don't even have that excuse. I do think it shows that Dallas has something. You know what I mean? Last week we pointed out Musa. Maybe he didn't have the best game this week, which is understandable. But their back line plays well. Their FC Dallas has a really good back line, very tough, very aggressive. They play very good in space, and they kind of kept this team away. Obviously they didn't have Surridge. Nashville didn't have Surridge, so that obviously influences the game a little bit. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, Dallas beat a very good team in the Eastern Conference, and people should look at this and say, hey, like Dallas is not an easy team that we're just going to roll by every single week. So I'm excited for Dallas to just keep rolling. Personally, I would love to see like a Dallas or a Houston make it far. I would love to see a Texas team get far within the playoffs. I haven't seen it done in who knows how long. I don't even know. I think the last time they were good was back when the league like first started, but I'd love to see it. I just, maybe Dallas can do it this year and make a little bit of a run, but I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say Nashville's bad, and I wouldn't necessarily say FC Dallas is super good. It's just one of those games where it ends 0-0. So it is what it is.
Hmm.
But it is boring to go to games like those. It kind of sucks.
Yeah. Houston Dynamo won in 2006 and 2007. I
Yeah,
was just
it was
curious if
Dynamo.
any Texas team has ever won it.
Yeah, they were good back in the day. Okay, cool. Speaking of though, we did have LAFC against Houston Dynamo. My kids were screaming. Did you hear that?
No,
Oh,
I thought I heard something, but
Houston Dynamo against LAFC. LAFC, dude, they just keep rolling. They just keep doing what they got to do, and they get it done. 2-0 win against Houston. And another red card. More red cards
two.
for Houston Dynamo. Yeah, 2 red cards, which is insane to think about. But you look at this, and dude, it was just so one-sided. 71% possession by LAFC. So really, they dominated Houston. Sorry, Houston. Maybe it's the jerseys. I don't love them. They're not great. Maybe they sucked the energy out of you guys, but it is what it is. But again, you play probably the best team in the Western Conference. So
Mm-hmm.
don't feel that bad.
No shame in that. Hey, they beat the best team in the Eastern Conference last week, so
Yeah, fair
you
enough.
you conceded less goals than them.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. That's true. Okay, cool. Then we do have Sporting Kansas City against Columbus Crew in a 2-2 tie, which is kind of interesting because I think a lot of
2-2
us had
Atwell.
Columbus winning.
Yeah, I said 2-2 Atwell.
Yeah, I get you now. But yeah, 2-2 draw. I think a lot of people had Columbus winning this game. Yahailovic again coming up and showing up. I remember mentioning this on the For the Crew podcast. Shout out those guys. They cover Columbus super well. They mentioned they had a couple clips on last week just around kind of how Columbus can win this game and how they were expecting a pretty one-sided event against Kansas City, which is not a great team. But I do remember mentioning on there like as long as they can hold back Yahailovic, they can win this game. Didn't happen. So Columbus gets a goal towards the end of the first half. Yahailovic gets 2 goals in the second half, and then Diego Rossi saves the day late with Columbus. So
Rookie.
crazy stuff there. They were pretty evenly matched, to be honest, though. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stats wise, doesn't look too far off. So obviously, I mean, this is always an issue, but goalie probably could have done a little bit better, especially with San Jose not having as many shots on goal. So
mhm.
they had 4 shots on target and they had 2 goals. So
Yeah. They also had a missed penalty, so I mean they could have won this game. So
shout out
you know,
to Pulse Camp for the save.
Pulskamp, and better luck next time, Abu Ali. It
They
is what
they
it
they didn't
is.
beat Kansas City, bro.
They
They're
did
not
not beat them.
Kansas anymore.
They're not, dude.
They got their BBL reduced.
There you go. Nice. And then next up we did have a Canada Classic, the Vancouver Whitecaps against Toronto FC, which honestly is not even like a classic anymore because Toronto's just being so bad, so bad. Vancouver ended up winning 3-0. 2 goals from Mueller and then 1 by Mr. Brian White, which is very, very cool to see that he's getting back into his scoring ways like he was last year. But again, super sorry for Toronto, dude. They've lost 2 games. They're just not, playing well. So, maybe the new signing can turn things around. Did you end up seeing this? Josh Sargent officially coming over to Toronto on a very, very nice deal, very expensive deal if you ask me. But Josh Sargent officially going over to Toronto on I'm trying to get exactly the number here. I wanted to say it was $22 million. Holy smokes. That's freaking insane. So yeah, dude, with that, it makes him probably one of the most expensive transfers to date in the MLS, really. He does come over from Norwich City. They're in the championship now, huh? Yeah, they were in the Prem. I don't know if he played in the Prem with them, but they're in the championship now. So big addition for Toronto.
He has, from what I've seen, I don't watch a lot of championship games. Obviously, I barely watch the Premier League. I'm not going to watch the championship. But he has some really good stats. In 32 games of 2024-25, he had 15 goals, 5 assists. 23-24, he had 16 and 1 assist. And according to some people around the world, the championship is a better league than the MLS. So I'm hoping he comes in and changes this Toronto team like the one Italian did for them and got them an MLS Cup. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know if you remember his name. But can't think of his name. But I was also going to mention that Toronto hasn't beat Vancouver since August 21st of 2020. That was the last game they've ever won. So it's been 6 years now.
Dang.
Crazy. Almost. It'll be 6 years this year unless they beat them this next time. But yeah, so hopefully, I remember back in the day Toronto was such a big deal going around with with that Italian. I'm gonna look his name up after I'm done talking. But hopefully Toronto can get back into winning ways because I just feel like every MLS team winning is good for the league. You want a competitive league, you want teams that are good. So
yeah, no, I totally agree. I think he will. I think he'll do a very good job coming into this team, into this league, and just kind of just turning this team around, hopefully. It is one of those things where it's hard to say that, one person can turn it around for, an entire team. But like you said, he did very well in the championship. He played in Germany as well. He played for Werder Bremen. So that was, he's got a lot of experience. He plays on the U.S. men's national team. Very good player. I'm excited to see him back in the States, technically in Canada. But I'm excited to see him back in Major League Soccer. And hopefully turns this organization around a little bit. So we'll see. Did you find the name?
Lorenzo Insigne. Yeah, I couldn't think of his name. I could picture his face. I just couldn't think of his name.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay, cool. Next up, we did have LA Galaxy, no longer the Galaxy, against Charlotte, winning 3-0. My guy.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have freaking thought? Only Fern.
Me.
Dude, this was insane. It goes in the 8th minute, the 11th minute, and the 13th. And then nothing. And then crickets. And then everybody was like, what's going on? Because the game was boring as hell afterwards.
Yeah. It was... Because what game was this on Saturday? It was the last game of Saturday, so I forgot what game I was watching. I went to start the Vancouver Whitecaps game, and I clicked on... So the Vancouver game started, I think, 30 minutes before, so they were about to go into halftime. Mm-hmm. And then I checked the scores for them, and I saw the LA Galaxy, they were winning 3-0. And I look at my phone, I look at the time, and I'm like, I looked at it twice. I'm like, what? 18 minutes in, and it's 3-0? I literally had to do a double take and look. I think I'm seeing things, but no. The Galaxy came in, and they beat Charlotte 3-0 within the first 13 minutes of the game. So,
dude, I thought they were going to end 6-0, bro. I thought it was going to be a crazy game.
Yeah, Charlotte's not looking very good. No disrespect to St. Louis City, but Charlotte tied to them last week, and they lost to the Galaxy this week. So it's not looking good for Charlotte out there. And Zaha, I don't think they're going to have very many people sitting in the chair at their stadium. So hopefully they switch it around. Did they make it to the first round of the playoffs last year? Is that what it was? And then they got kicked?
Yep.
We'll see how it goes. Sorry,
Yeah.
Charlotte. LA Galaxy's back in town, and
They're back in town.
they ain't
Los
gonna let it
Reyes
go
are back
down.
in
So
town.
hopefully they keep it up. So we
Yeah.
want a competitive El Tráfico for October.
Yes, we do. João Klaus, though, getting his 2 goals in, which is pretty cool to see. He came over from St. Louis City. Obviously, a very terrible loss for that team, but good addition for LA Galaxy. The guy, he's been playing very well. I mean, I've always thought he's a good player, even at his age. Which I'm only saying that because people think I'm old and I'm older than him. So it's pretty crazy to see. You don't know how old he is, huh?
He's 29, but he's also Brazilian.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I mean, it's very good performance by him. I think he's been playing very well. Glesnes finally stepping up, playing incredibly well there. Accurate passes, 93% accurate passes. 101 of 109, brother. 101 accurate passes.
That's a lot of passes.
That's crazy, bro. That's so much. And he had 118 touches, which
defender.
Dude, I know it's pretty insane. He's looking good, man. I'm also thinking like World Cup too. Like he plays for Norway. Like
Norway, Holland.
Yeah,
I don't know who Norway has in goal, but I feel like I want to talk about this now. We'll get into it after the next game, but I have to mention this because
mention what?
Look at this Glessons, bro. Look how he's performing.
I know,
so good.
Yeah.
Why is Philly so ass? Why would they get rid of him and Pep Beal? Like, what are they doing?
Yep. Yeah. Segueing into the next game, man.
It's not the next game. It's the game.
Oh no, it's not the next game. It's another.
Let's talk about Philly though.
Okay. Yep. Let's get into it. Look, Austin versus DC United 1-0, very quick. But Philly against New York City. New York City ended up winning 2-1.
2-1.
This game. Red card for Philadelphia Union. Philadelphia Union, what are you doing?
Think about this though.
You've lost 2 games in a row now, and you were the Supporters Shield winners last year. Insane. You let so many top players go. Speaking of, like you said, Glesnes. Speaking of Tyberibo. What's going on? Houston. Philly. We have a problem.
The issue is Philly decided that they'd rather have the money than the performances. And the fans should be saying something about this. Because how are you going to tie the game in the 90th +2 just to lose the game 7 minutes later to a 90+ minute goal? Imagine if you had a previous defender of the year in your team, or maybe player fighting for the golden boot race in your team to help you win against the very good New York City team, So I talked to you about this. I just feel like this is how I see it. And I feel like it's a bad look for the league that Philly decided to get rid of 2 of their top players for profit. And instead of bringing players of a higher caliber or equal to, they just decided they were fine with what they had and, basically become bad. That's what it's looking like to me. They shouldn't be losing these games. They have Milan Ilowski. He was good last year, obviously, for San Diego, for Philly. But I just wouldn't have done so many changes, especially having Kevin Sullivan, who's coming up, he's still young. He's not going to carry your team. He's not Lamine Yamal, unfortunately, for Philadelphia. But yeah, I'm very disappointed in Philadelphia in what seems to me a cash grab from them. And I feel like the fans should be outraged as well.
Yeah, they probably are, to be honest. So it is very sad to see what's kind of happening in Philadelphia. Maybe they can turn it around at some point. I mean, the transfer window technically is still open, so they could do something. Who knows? I don't know how much GAM they have left, but maybe do something with it, right? So, but yeah, hats off to New York City FC getting that win. They're doing, what they have to do to stay competitive. Hats off to them. But let's keep rolling here. So we're gonna go into Inter Miami against Orlando. Is this a specific game for you, my friend?
No. I've never heard of those 2 teams before in my life, honestly. Not like I'm wearing their jersey or anything.
Another cracked game for El Fernando.
Cracked.
Dude, crazy. 4-2 win for Inter Miami, which is absolutely insane. It was one of those games where, yes, Orlando City just was winning in the first half. And I remember sending you a message being like, yo, what's going on, dude? Like 2-0, it's halftime. What's going on? and then next thing you know, a special someone shows up, and it's just a different ball game.
Which, speaking of a special someone, this is my cracked game of the week, but my cracked player of the week is also on this team.
Who is it?
In this game. He wears
Who
a
is
pink
it?
jersey and he wears the number 8. It's Telasco Segovia. Look at that.
Really?
Wow, look at that. Yeah,
Oh.
I just obviously Messi scored 2 goals. First goal, amazing. Telasco had 2 assists, which if you watch the game, the assists weren't anything crazy. Basically, Messi just took the ball away from him in his second assist and scored the banger. He handed off the ball to what's his name? Silvetti.
Mhm.
And Silvetti scores a banger. But not only that, he was also the one that scored the game-winning goal because he was the last one to score. And he also he was just all over the place. Last year, I really liked him. I talked about him pretty often, saying how much I liked him. And he's on a young player's contract right now, so hopefully, if things go well, they can get rid of maybe some more expensive players and keep him in here, give him a better contract. But yeah, he's been playing really well. Miami is a very slow starting team. I've told you this before. I feel like most people that see this know Miami's a slow team to start up. You're pretty much waiting on Messi to, his gears to start going. But as that's happening, I feel like they need to be a little bit more structured defensively. Obviously, last week we talked about a lot of changes in this team. There's a lot of different players. Obviously, Falcone is still in there. Michael is new. Mura is new. Allen has been around, but they're still getting. St. Clair is new. They're still getting used to each other. St. Clair needs to come in and talk to these guys. But I feel the 2 goals that they scored were good goals. Orlando did well to get into positions to score. But I feel like they should be defended better. St. Clair should do a little better. He got a hand on the first goal, if I'm remembering correctly, and I feel like he should have been able to save that one. And this is just going to happen. He's kind of getting back into the rhythm of things because the second half he actually had some really good saves. He was able to keep them alive. I actually had a couple timestamps that I wanted to show you real quick. One of them was a crazy save that I don't know how I didn't realize at the time. So actually, you know what? Let's start with the save because I want to end with what happened at the end of the game. So let's see. Let me show you my screen right here. Let's go full screen. Oh shoot. I got my timestamps mixed up. Look at that. Perfect stop. Call me the GOAT. Okay, right here. Can you see it?
Oh
my goodness gracious.
You don't have premium?
I do. I actually
You
do. I
do?
don't know why this popped up. Yeah, I do. I think I
That's
might not
funny.
be logged into my actual account. But so yeah, this is in the second half already. I believe it's 2-2 at this point. Yeah, 2-2 at this point. Orlando has been pressing Miami for a while. And I don't know, did you watch the game? Did you notice this? But
Let me see.
so obviously this is a save and you're looking at this guy, but look at Falcone right here. Look at him after the shot. After this, look at him. You see that? Did you notice what he did? Did you notice what he did?
He tried to head the ball.
Yeah, look at him. Watch it from this angle, bro. This is the dedication I need from a freaking defender. He can't get to it with his feet, so he sticks his head in there.
There you go.
Yeah,
Love that, dude.
So obviously that's the passion you like to see from a team that is fighting for their lives basically at this point.
Yeah. Solid. That's a good one. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude.
Yeah, I've seen it happen a couple times before, so that's a good passion save from Falcone. And so I'm not rambling too long. Let's get into this last timestamp that I have, obviously.
Okay.
So previous to this, Orlando get a red card, double yellow on the guy for pushing Messi in the back, so they get this free kick, which tell me what you think. Everybody and their mom believes the keeper should have saved this. Like, what's going on here? But that's not the important part. The important part is this. Do you see what's going on here, Reyes? Do you see what's going on? I don't know if they're going to show the other angle because there was a lot of profanity being flown at my guy here. Let's see. Yeah, see, they definitely didn't show that.
Definitely didn't show.
But obviously that happened. He goes up to they call it the wall of fans and just celebrates in front of them. And prior to that, the second goal to tie the game, he did hey, after the game, you want a signature? And Ojeda wasn't very happy with these antics going in. So he came into at the end of the game and talked to Messi. I don't know what he said, but I'm assuming he wasn't saying anything too nice to him.
Probably not.
But honestly, seeing Messi so passionate and doing all this crazy things, you want my signature, going in front of the fans and celebrating, I feel like it's very good for the league because it shows he's not just here for the money. He's here because he wants to play, and he brings a certain type of passion to these games. On the RSL Bros TikTok, I commented and said, not only does he bring high quality to the game, he brings, like, it's weird to say, and maybe I'm just sounding like I'm glazing at this point, but he brings like the passion to everybody because he's going to come to RSL. The RSL fans, it's going to be full and they want to beat Miami because Messi's there.
Yeah.
So it like brings a certain like passion, and I like seeing it because I feel like, why would I want to go to a game where nobody cares and they're just there just to waste time?
Yeah.
That's what you want. This rivalry has been great for the league, and I hope it keeps going. LAFC, LA Galaxy, all these rivalries, this is what we need to see the league
Yes.
grow and give people outside of the US you know a glimpse that the fans can be passionate about soccer like they are these other sports. And I feel like as more teams see that and more rivalries grow, then it'll grow the league. So I don't know what you think.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I think you said it very well. Every single team should try to beat Miami. I think Miami has the biggest target on its back going into this year, and every single team that they play this year should want to beat them. They should want to beat them not just because they have Messi, but because it's Miami, and everybody wants to see the top person fall. You know what I mean? So yeah, I 100% agree with you. I can't really say much more. I think it's gonna be fun whenever Messi does come to RSL or to Utah, but it's just gonna be one of those things where every team needs to show up. There's a possibility, LAFC showed us, Miami can bleed, Miami can lose, they can get frustrated. They're not perfect, so lay it on them, hit them hard. You got to do it in order to win this game, and don't stop. Obviously, Orlando up 2-0. You're thinking maybe they can have an easy win here. No, sir. Don't let off the gas.
This is also a very big statement game for them because, like you said, they lost 3-0 to LAFC, who people say that's going to be the MLS final this year. They come in, they're losing 2-0, and then to come back and win 4-2 just shows the league that, you know what? Yeah, you can score against us, but make sure you're ready to not let us score 4 or 5 past you.
Yeah, exactly. Solid stuff. Okay, last one. We'll just go really quick because we're kind of going over San Diego FC versus St. Louis. San Diego just keeps rolling, man. 2-0 against St. Louis, beating these guys. Anders Dreyer being another key component to this game, getting a goal and an assist. So hats off to him. But yeah, this team just looks very good. I'm very excited to see this team take on Toluca in the CONCACAF Champions Cup next week. Not this week, but the next week. And that'll be a very good game because, yeah, San Diego can play anybody here in the MLS and likely win. But can they do it against, the top team in Liga MX in the first round? So that'll be fun. Hats off to them for the win. St. Louis, it is what it is. You played San Diego, played one of the best teams in the Western Conference, and you lost. So it is what it is. Cool stuff. I never shared this. I'll just do it really, really quick so that we don't take up too much more time. But for my correct player of the game, I did have somebody that maybe not everybody knows who this is, but we certainly do, just given that this person is fairly consistently a pretty good player. But Marco Delgado.
Snake.
He had 1 goal, 1 assist, 96% accurate passes. 92 of 96 passes were accurate, which is crazy also to think about. He had like I said, a goal and assist. Played very well. Plays on a very good team. Very helpful with Son and Bawanga. Obviously, kind of playing on that team, helping them out, doing what he has to do both offensively and defensively to help this team. So this guy's all over the place, always in the middle of the field. Very controlling of kind of what the game looks like. So hats off to him. Very good game. Very good win for LAFC. Okay, cool. Let's get into some of these headlines because I wanted to get to a couple different things here. First and foremost, I know we are primarily covering Major League Soccer, but for those of you that don't know, soccer in the U.S. does have a Division II, so to speak. And it does start this weekend. Opening weekend for the USL, the United Soccer League, is opening up this weekend, but then it is in jeopardy because there is currently a bit of a dispute, a bit of a disagreement with the Players Association for the USL and the USL as a whole just going on. There's a lot of things that could be a lot better, and things are just not great necessarily in the leagues. One of the things I kind of wanted to discuss very quickly was the USL. They came out, they talked about how in 2028 they want to have promotion relegation. They want to have a Division One for the USL. The USL, I think they're calling it the championship. Maybe they're calling it something different, but essentially they'll have like their own version of a Division One soccer league for the USL. But when you kind of think about that, you kind of think about like, okay, well, they must have everything else, the foundation of a league in place. And from the looks of it, they don't really have that. A lot of these players are not making a lot of money, so to speak, which understandable. They're not getting some basic needs met in terms of healthcare, and it's just not necessarily like the best experience to really be in this league as of right now. So I just posed the question, right? Is this is a league that, like I said, it's trying to come up, it's trying to be a big time league like the MLS, is trying to be bigger in everybody's minds. Is this a bit of a bad look for the USL trying to be, something that competes with the MLS, and really they can't, give the players what they need to compete, survive, and do what they have to do on the field?
So I feel like some people may see it as the players are being greedy and they're asking for too much. But like you said, they're trying to be like an MLS, a professional league. Like the you can't it's hard to be a professional and have to, let's say, go work another job, you know?
Yeah.
So you unfortunately, I feel like as a league, you need to be able to give your players, if you want the best product that you can have, you want to pay them. So all they do is focus on this. You
Right.
want them only focusing on playing for your team because you can't have them needing to work somewhere else to be able to make up, money to be able to live and also expect to have the best product on the field. So I feel like it is a bad look. Obviously, they're not to the caliber of the MLS, and I doubt these players are asking for that kind of money, but just enough to be able to focus on this 100%. It
Yeah.
kind of goes down to like the women's sports aspect of it where they were
Hmm.
also asking for, the money, and I feel like as soon as this money started coming in, these like basically the women's Premier League, I don't know what it's called. They have the women's Bundesliga, they have the women's La Liga. Like these teams are coming up, and as they started putting more money into it, you see the product getting better. You see more teams being competitive, and it's not just one team that can afford to pay their players does well. So
Yeah.
if the USL wants a good product, they're gonna unfortunately have to sacrifice profits and your margins to start up the league. I'm assuming
Yeah.
that's why they don't want to do it because they're trying to maximize profits. But when you're starting up, anybody who knows when you're starting up, you can't have max profits
Yeah.
because you're trying to build to that. And obviously, once you get big enough, then you can start looking at profits. So
Yeah.
that's how I see it.
Yeah, 100%. And a lot of it, like I kind of started to go through a bit of a rabbit hole with kind of what's been going on, because this has really been going on for about basically since August of 2024. They're trying to get, something in agreement with the Players Association and the league. But essentially, some of the big things are, like I said, pay, right? So right now, a lot of the USL players are on 10-month contracts. They want 12 months, right? So they can be paid throughout the year like a regular job, right? Right now, the league offered an increased minimum salaries, which is around $38,000, and the union is basically trying to get at least $43,000 for these players to play, right? And that's like the lowest of the low. That's not including like the top players. That's not including like veterans, and so on and so forth. One of the things too is like healthcare. Each club like offers their teams, or their players, like different healthcare options,
Mhm.
and they think it just should be centralized with the league. Like the league has healthcare and they give it to their players, which I think that's something that's simple. It'll get done, I think. But the biggest one is buyouts and the likeness rights. So likeness is like your person, your image. You kind of have rights to like who you are and selling it kind of like your personal brand. Right now, they're being offered like $25,000, the Players Association, and they're looking for like 600,000, which who knows if that'll get done. Right? Like, what will that look like? And then buyouts as well. So, like, the league wants to have the ability to buy out player contracts unilaterally. So, paying only a fraction of like future salaries, and the union is strongly like objects it, saying it undermines like job security, right? So those are the two biggest things that honestly are kind of like what's at hand here. But you also made a pretty good point, just kind of around like these, some of these things are very, they'll probably end up getting done, like the healthcare thing. I don't think it's a very difficult thing to do, but as a whole, as a league, like what does this look like on this league, right? Like it doesn't look great, right? It doesn't look good that, you want to start a league that's very competitive. It rivals the MLS, and you have these issues with players and just kind of getting them up to speed for like actual competitive pay and, sponsorship, all these different things. And let's just say they do, right? Let's just say these leagues are like, okay, well, we'll have to pay these players X amount of money. We'll have to do all these different things. These teams, like, they don't make a lot of money. I don't think there's a lot of people that watch the USL strictly because, like, it's not like MLS that has Apple that's gone that what a 10-year deal that's worth like $4 billion, right? Like insane amount of money, right? These guys don't have that, right? So these guys are strictly relying on ticket sales, like people that are coming to these games, butts and seats, right? And if let's just say they don't do well this month or this quarter, or whatever, on ticket sales or like people getting into the games, like they don't have a check from Apple coming in at the end of the month that's going to save them to make payroll, basically, right? They don't have that. So, like, all of this to say, like, if they end up paying that, like paying these players, getting all these different things for these players, like this season, I feel like you see a lot of teams going away, and it's starting to happen. I don't know if you've noticed, but like some teams have been like, hey, because of all the things that we need to start doing, we cannot financially move forward with everything, and we just need to disband as a team, and it's no longer there.
Yeah, that's business, man. It's tough.
I know, and then that's one of those things too, where it's like, okay, well, now you ask the question, right? Like, people don't love it when money is always involved in things, right? When we think about like the City Group, when we think about the Red Bull Group, and we think about like how much money they have and how much control they have, and like yes, at the end of the day, we don't want monopolies. We don't want all these one entity to own everything, but we need money. People
Mm-hmm.
aren't going to do this for free. You know what I mean? People don't want to
I
go.
will.
People don't want to go compete and potentially like risk season-ending injuries or career-ending injuries, and not be paid for, not be compensated for, or be protected, right, for it. It's one of those things where it's a kind of a hard balance, right? Where yes, you want to do it for the love of the game, and everybody wants to just play and have kumbaya. At the end of the day, we just get beers, and that's just kind of how we pay it. Some of these guys got families. Some of these guys got put food on the table, put roof over their heads. Like, money has to be involved at the end of the day, right?
I just feel like the healthcare should automatically just be like they
Yeah,
need
I
to
think
figure
that'll.
something out, and that
Yeah.
like figure that out, and these people don't have to worry about if they get injured. Okay, you go from there. Maybe be like, hey, you know what? We can't pay you this right now because show 'em books. Like this is
Mm.
what's going on with the league. You see these teams disbanding, but what we can promise you, obviously, I don't work in corporate America. I don't know how this would work, but just being like, hey, we're gonna go out. You guys try and give us a good product to then take. Like, hey, look, this is what we have to these sponsors, and then try and work and be like, once we get these sponsors, as you guys work, we'll make a deal, make a contract that once this happens, you guys then get incentivized of like it says on here, bonuses. If we make a good product and then these sponsors want to come in and sponsor us and give us more money, then we can then somehow figure out a way to give you a bonus to whichever team's doing the best or stuff like that, to even then incentivize teams to
Mm.
want to be better. But I don't know. Because yes, it's hard. You can't just decide, okay, you know what, we're gonna give you guys a bunch of money, because they probably don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so I feel
Hmm.
like there's a medium where the players have to understand that they may not be able to give you exactly what you want,
Right.
and obviously that's why this is happening, because they're just trying to
Yeah.
figure something out. So yeah, I think that would probably be the best, and being like, hey, try and give us the best product we can go out, and sell our product
Yes.
to these advertisers. And as that
Yeah.
happens, we'll make more money. You'll make more
Yep.
money.
Yep. It's about revenue.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, this is a business. I mean, the economics does not care about your feelings and your ambitions.
Mm-hmm.
If it makes sense financially, this will make sense. If it
Yeah.
doesn't, it doesn't. And I know a lot of people get like their feelings into this and like it needs to be, kumbaya, like I said, kind of, you know what I mean. But like I said, it's a business, guys. Like if
Yeah.
people are going to these games, people are paying to see these people, paying to see this product, paying to watch it online, right? Like then it'll make sense. Then it will keep running. Then it'll do what it's got to do. Then it turns into the MLS.
Mm-hmm.
But until that happens, forget about it. But yeah, a bit of a spicy topic, to be honest. So we'll kind of keep track of this. Like I said, USL opening weekend this week, so we'll see what happens. I think they will end up starting. They'll probably come into some sort of agreement to kind of kick the season off and not hold off because, to be honest, a lot of people probably can't hold off because they probably need the money coming in, right? So I'm sure we'll get a kickoff, but they're probably going to be a bit of a sour taste in the mouth there for some of the players. Another thing that was kind of interesting here, going into the next headline, groundbreaking rules, actually two of them, that were pioneered by the MLS and MLS Next Pro are going to be implemented in this upcoming year's FIFA World Cup. So not sure if you noticed or if you saw this, but the off-field treatment rule and the timed substitution rule will be in effect in the FIFA World Cup. And I actually saw this firsthand when I watched the game this weekend, where there was some substitutions that were being made by Real Salt Lake. And from my understanding, the rule now is you have like 10 seconds to get off the field, and if you take longer than that, then you get penalized. Basically, you have like the team runs short for a certain period of time, right? And it's actually been working within the MLS and the MLS Next Pro. And I think it'll be very interesting to see in the World Cup because now players are not going to be, walking, going super
Watch out, Vinny.
slow. Yeah, going super slow off the field. Like I said, I saw it in the game here in the RSL game. One of the players was on the other side of the field, and instead of taking his sweet time walking all the way to the other side to get subbed, he just walked out of the that side and kind of walked off, right? Because he probably knew about the rule and said, you know what, I got to get off quickly, and I can't make that in 10 seconds, so might as well just get off here. But very interesting rule, dude. I think this will be very good for the World Cup because, I mean, we've seen it, you've seen it. People take their sweet time getting subbed off. But I think that'll affect it. What do you think?
Yeah, I was reading some of these stats right here where it says in MLS play in 2025, 99% of substitutions occurred in 10 seconds or less, which obviously this usually happens at the end of the game. People are subbing, so then they just start walking, taking their time. It's very annoying for the team that's losing,
And
obviously,
fans.
and fans. And I mean, probably not the fans of the team winning.
Sure.
But yeah, this is a very good change for me. Obviously, you always want to keep the momentum of the game just going and going and going. You don't want too much stoppage going on because, every second missed is a second Messi could have scored or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm all for rules that help keep the momentum of the game going. And I don't know what I mean. Games for me are watchable regardless.
Sure. Yeah.
Unless my team's losing very bad, then I'll just usually get pissed off and stop watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Maybe yeah, I like the rule. It's
Yeah.
definitely a good thing, and hopefully, I'm assuming obviously MLS Pro, MLS. This was a trial run from what this
Yeah.
says. Now it's going into the World Cup. It could then possibly make its way to leagues out in Europe because
Yeah.
obviously VAR has been a big implementation. The 3 subs from 5 subs has also been
Yeah.
made, and then having that extra sub in overtime, I believe. So yeah, I feel like a lot of these rules that have been coming into the game have benefited. So I don't see, and
Yeah.
this one doesn't seem like it would be very negative to the game.
Yeah.
So I do
Yeah.
appreciate it.
For
So
sure.
I'm sorry, Vinny, but your time is up.
In 10 seconds. Exactly.
Real Madrid.
All that stuff. Yeah. So that was pretty cool to see. There has been some communication around potentially the MLS getting a new commissioner. Nothing is really set in stone. I did just want to bring it up briefly because from what I've seen, the current MLS commissioner, Don Garber, has been in seat for quite a while. From my understanding, it was 1999. Yeah, and he did come in. Yeah, he did come in from after working from the NFL. So I think he's done a pretty good job over the last like 26 years. Like, the league's obviously grown and done very well, and brought in new talent, brought in new teams. As of right now, they haven't necessarily confirmed when we would get a new commissioner. His contract does expire at the end of 2027, but there is a chance that he finishes the 27-28 season, so we probably wouldn't get a new one until 2028. That's yet to be confirmed, but at the end of the day, I just hope they hire somebody that's seasoned, experienced, somebody that brings in new ideas, keeps the league, keeps the good things going, and revolutionizes the league here in the States to just compete with the rest of the world, right? Again, nothing's confirmed, but when the time does come, hopefully it's a good change.
That's crazy. He's been the commissioner for almost 30 years.
It's wild, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, so hats off to him. We won't get into the CONCACAF Champions Cup too much today. The games aren't until next week, so we'll kind of get into it a little bit more next week. But, just to kind of look at it right now, there is the round of 16 that will happen from March 10th to the 19th. So some pretty good games coming up, right? Toluca, San Diego, a big one. Inter Miami, Nashville, a big one. America, Philly, Tigres, Cincy. So we'll kind of cover those next week as they kind of come about, because at the end of the day, the first game is never really the one set in stone. The one that you want to watch is the one de vuelta, always.
Yeah. Rick, honestly, with the way Philly's looking, I feel like America's going to win that.
Right.
And if they do win that and Miami wins, that means they'll play against each other. Or do they do a draw after, kind of like the Champions League?
No,
or do they just go, it's just a
I think they go
ladder?
to the table. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so, like you said, a lot of good games. So I think it'll be, very fun to watch. This is probably one of the best CONCACAF Champions Cups that I've seen in terms of matchups. So I'm very excited to kind of watch these games next week and into the following week, because that'll be fun. So, okay, cool. Before we get into the picks, Kickbase USA, baby. Fantasy soccer. Dude, you should have won. From my understanding, you should have won this last week, but like you said, you were over budget.
Kickbase, bro, please give me my points, please. I'm asking the developers to give me my points back, please.
let me get this. Let me get these points real quick, dude. I know, and I'm 0.2 million over in one of my leagues, and I am 6 million under in the other one. So I'm still good. I've been putting up points, man. I've been doing pretty okay. I put up 1,029 this last week. Got the win. Got 3 points. But in the other one, in the City Boys league, I did not win. I lost. Baldinho, he beat me. I had 1294 and he had 1587. Dang, yeah, he was the number one contributor last week for that league. That's unfortunate, but we stay rolling. We stay winning.
Bro, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. I literally would have scored the most amount of points had I done everything. Made Messi my captain, because obviously I would have done that.
Yeah.
And if I would have realized it, I was in the negatives. So your players change prices, obviously.
Yeah.
So I just need to be more locked in, guys.
Lock in, baby. Lock in, dude. Every week you gotta remember Friday. It's like set it, dude. You gotta set it.
It's okay, bro. We're gonna get there. The fantasy is just starting up, so we just need to get into fantasy mode.
We're chilling.
Shout out to the Kickbase. It's a very I like the app, so I'm playing.
It's fun.
Nyla in the City Boys League this week, and then who am I playing this week? I am playing Jacob.
Nice
in our league. So easy dubs this week, guys. Don't worry. Messi's my captain, and they're playing DC United. So
yeah, that's a good setup for sure. He was the number 3, by the way. Messi was number 3. Number 1 was Dreyer, 551 points, and then Bawanga with 506.
51. That's just, and if he was your captain, that's Dreyer. 1,000 points just off Dreyer. That's crazy.
Insane, yeah. I've had Bawanga in both my squads.
What did Dreyer do?
2 weeks. He had a goal and assist.
That's it.
Yeah, but he probably played really well. I think he had really high.
Messi, I'll be honest with Messi. This wasn't Messi's greatest game. Those 2 goals saved him. That nasty free kick that shouldn't have even been scored. But hey, we take him.
We take him.
As a Messi Glazer, you take what you get.
There we go.
And then you wipe it off.
Jeez, bro. Okay, cool. Let's go into a quick picks here. We'll kind of share the picks as we go into the weekend. So we'll kind of share those picks on social media. But we'll look into some of the Saturday slots and the Sunday slot and we'll pick maybe just the best game because just given time, we'll probably just pick the best game we see for each day. Let me quickly share this so we can put it up on the screen here really quick. Share, bang, bang, boom. Okay, Saturday, March 7th, this upcoming weekend. We have a full slate on Saturday, man. I think we might only have 1 or 2 games on Sunday. So anything that stands out to you here for Saturday? I know it's a pretty, heavy Saturday. So not sure if anything stands out to you immediately, but I'll give you a second here. Does anything look intriguing as of right now?
Yeah, definitely. This is my last chance for Philly. San Jose is a very good team, so obviously we'll see how it goes. But Philly is on fraud watch this week, guys. So
Ooh,
we'll see. Um, and I
that's
mean, five
crazy
to
right
five.
there.
That's a pretty even. That's a pretty even score right there. Five
Yeah, that's
wins
wild.
on either side and 4 draws. So yeah, I think Philly definitely needs a win this week to. They beat Defense Force, but I think my Tuesday team could have beat Defense Force.
Yeah,
Just kidding,
that's
Defense
funny.
Force. It's a joke. You guys would have beat us for sure. We won't talk about my Tuesday league team, but yeah, San Jose is looking really good. I hate to say it, because from this past week, all the California teams are looking good. San Jose won, LA Galaxy won, LAFC won, San Diego won. What other California teams are there? Might as well have a whole league just in California. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they're looking good. Obviously, they're third going into the weekend, so Philadelphia has a very tough game. So I just want you
Yep.
guys to keep an eye out on Philadelphia. And if they lose and they keep on losing, we need to call them out for throwing. What is it called? What do they
Oh,
call it? When
so,
you like purposely do bad to get the number 1 pick.
yeah, it's throwing, like
Tanking.
throwing a game.
Tanking, right?
Tanking,
Obviously
yeah.
it doesn't matter here in the MLS, obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, no, it's solid. It's a good pick. I love that game. I think there's a lot of different games that are good, right? So, I think this Orlando, New York City could be good. Columbus, Chicago can be good. But I think what I'm gonna have to pick is the Minnesota versus Nashville game. Two very good teams. Minnesota,
Minnesota.
very top team in the West. Nashville, a top team in the East. Minnesota with that win last week, which was awesome. And then Nashville with that draw, right? So a lot of us saw that Surge wasn't in. He had that illness. Can they turn it around against a pretty strong Minnesota team and get the win there? This is a very they don't play each other very often. 1-1 in terms of wins and 2 draws. There's more of a chance of this to come out as a draw than a win. Nashville did end up beating them back in 2023 5-0 in the League's Cup. So, we'll see what happens, but I think this is a good game to watch. Can Surge come into this game and, turn this team around a little bit? But, Minnesota just plays very well all the time. So we'll see how this game turns out. And then lastly, for Sunday night soccer, 2 games: New York Red Bulls against Montreal and FC Cincinnati against Toronto. So I think there's only one real game to kind of watch here, given that Montreal's been playing so bad. So I think for both of us, it's probably this one. Correct?
Yes.
So this will be fun. I don't think Evander will be back, but will Sargent potentially play for Toronto? Is my question.
When they just signed him this past week, right?
I think so. Yeah.
And I can see him playing just because, as we've talked about in the past, he's already been playing. He's in that, like,
Yeah.
play now mode. So I can see them bringing him in, and that'll be a very good indicator of how Toronto's attack will do after that, and also obviously how Cincinnati will deal without having Evander on their team.
Yeah.
So hopefully, I mean, you would assume Cincinnati is going to beat Toronto, but they did lose to Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
this gives me a bit. Evander being gone gives me a little bit different vibes, but I think I would still pick FC Cincinnati winning this game.
Yeah.
Sargent doesn't play.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to see if Sargent plays. If Sargent plays if on Friday they say he's playing, I probably would pick Toronto.
You got to send
So
me your stuff on Thursday, please.
it's Friday night, dude. So good stuff, man. I mean, plenty of games going on over the weekend. We'll kind of keep everybody posted on our picks. We'll get those up on social media. But that is it for today's episode, my guy. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. Appreciate you all, getting on social medias on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, giving us some comments, likes, some dislikes. Let us know, baby. We eat it up all day long. Any last words from you, my guy?
No, just thanks for the support on everything. Just like El Capi Reyes just said, like, subscribe, please. I texted my family group chat and I still haven't seen any of them subscribe. So subscribe. We are actually almost to 100 subscribers on YouTube. So if you guys want to hit that subscribe button, get us to 100 subscribers. To the 100th subscriber, if you live in Utah, I'll give you a hug.
There you go. Yeah, we'll take. If we know you, we'll buy you a piece of pizza.
If I don't know you, I'll give you a hug.
There you go. Love it, dude. Yeah, let's get those numbers up. We appreciate it and we love doing this. Honestly, it's super fun. I look forward to it every Monday.
How about this? We're the Crack Soccer Podcast. The 100th subscriber, I'll crack you. How about that?
We'll crack one open for you. How about that?
Okay.
Sick. Appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate y'all. Peace.
See ya.